Hi guys, welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'm going to explain why I decided to cancel my Duolingo subscription. I think that context is very important. It's crucial to understand reasons and expectations towards the software. I'm a regular language learner, and I do this mostly for fun, for enjoyment, and for communication purposes. So I don't have any deadline, any exams that I have to pass. I don't need this for school and anything like this. And that's, I think, is very important to know, because I can pick my own way how I want to learn, what I want to learn, and when. Also, on Duolingo, I'm rather on a top 10% of users, which is not actually an accomplishment from my point of view. So you can see here my some stats that Duolingo prepared for this year. So this is the number of lessons I took with this accuracy. They wrote this top 1%. It's almost over 174 hours, number of words that in theory I've learned. This is the total continuous days I spent on it. Yeah, so it's 6.6% of total users. In the top league I'm for 47 weeks, and yeah, actually that's it about me in Duolingo. And the second thing, why did I choose Duolingo or a second language to learn? Many years ago, I found on YouTube a video. It was from the Role Models movie, and there was a scene in a cafeteria, in a coffee shop, and there's a sentence where the guy tells to the teller that they are stupid in 3 languages. So that's why I decided to pick one more language to be more educated, I guess. At this point, I didn't know that it will be Spanish or any other language. I didn't know any apps to learn languages, so that's why I picked Duolingo. And Duolingo was very good. I mean, I had immediate access to many languages, with text, with reading, with listening, speaking options. So it was very versatile, and I immediately fall in love in Spanish because of its sounds, and that's how I stayed with the Spanish language. And after more or less two months, I took my first online class with the real teacher. It was a group class. It took like 2-3 months. Then I took another one, 2-3 months. Then I decided that the group classes don't work for me, so I've decided to have a one-on-one classes that I continue, and I have and I continue right now. But let's go back to Duolingo and the issues that I have with this application. So first, this menu, they change this from time to time. I'm used to it, but here you can see I'm on the very last lesson of this point, and once I pass it, Duolingo will multiply my next points by 2 for the next 15 minutes. And I got that they should, the application wants me to stay as long as possible in the app, but it doesn't work this way, because for this next 15 minutes, I'm focused only on a score, not on the learning process at all. Because here we have this list, and there are those leaks that I showed you a minute ago, and here we have the motion zone. So everyone who is below this line is going back to the previous league for the next week. And I know that the league is not the most important part of this process, but because it is in the app and we love competition, and if we have some scores, I guess it's somewhere in our subconscious that we want to compete and we want to win. I mean, I'm not about winning that top 3 places, but to stay in this league. So the first thing that really bothers me, and I mentioned about it already in my previous videos, is this 2 times multiplier of scores, because it doesn't work for me and I just waste time here. The second that I can see on my list is this training session. It looks not that bad, but here we can review our mistakes and repeat to something that we already did in the previous lessons. It looks okay, but from my experience, after 4-5 rounds, which is not that much because one round takes like 2, maybe 3 minutes, it starts repeating itself. So we are in a loop. So for a long term, it doesn't really work. And the sentences and the words it brings back to repeat, they are not very far from the current lesson. And that leads us to the third point, which is neither here in this review section, this training section, nor here. Duolingo doesn't bring back the words and the sentences, the things that we used to learn, like let's say a month, 2-3 months ago. Learning a new process, especially on a new language, especially on a very beginning levels, like A1 or 2 that I am, is all based on repetition. So if we do not bring back those words, those phrases, those structures, it's very easy to forget about them. The fourth issue, maybe it's not major, it's rather minor, but the app stability in general, sometimes it's very slow, sometimes it's it freezes, and when we are in this time where the points are multiplied and the application freezes for 1 minute, so it's a 1 minute of 15 minutes, it's pretty frustrating. I mean, I know, again, it is not about the score, it's about the learning, but still we compete with other users, and when the application is working against us, it's pretty frustrating. The fifth reason, it's not only in Duolingo, it's in many other language or applications to learn languages issue, is to how they teach vocabulary. Very often in Duolingo and many other apps as well, is that they translate one-to-one some words. As long as they are not in a sentence, they are pretty confusing. For example, in English, close without any surroundings can be close as a not very far, or close like to make something unopen. I know it's too close, right? But without surroundings any. And in Spanish we have 2 words at least. It's cerrar and cerca. When we learn some new vocabulary and we are not aware that cerca and close is just one of many possible translations, we may figure out that cerca is also to close, not just to be not very far. And that's why I don't like those ways of learning languages, words one-to-one. From words we can go to sentences, and sentences, I have some pictures, but are not that important. Sometimes they are very artificial. For example, like, is there trash again? Or the sergeant had a lamp on his forehead. I know that those sentences are correct, but I cannot recall when I used such phrases, such sentences in my own language, in my real life. Maybe someone uses them, but for me they are very artificial. There are many of them like this. And because how I learn vocabulary and phrases is like connecting, okay, I've heard this word there and it was about this, or someone told me this, and then I may connect the meaning with the scene of this person telling me some word, so I can put the word in a context, and that what makes me easier to remember those words or phrases, structures. But when the phrases are so artificial, I just remember them right now preparing for this video, but this is not how I can learn new words and new structures. Finally, do I think that this application is wrong? it's a bad application. No, I don't. I think that without Duolingo, I wouldn't start learning Spanish a year ago, even a little bit more than a year ago right now. It let me jump into this language. I could start with very basic words. I could start listening to very basic phrases, and I could do this in my own time without looking even for any school, any other help. So this is very useful for people that want to learn something, and they are looking for language to learn. And for very basic levels like A1 or A2, I think it makes sense. They have feeds with pretty nice articles. Uh, this section is completely useless from my perspective. This section I don't really get. I'm not sure what this is really about. It's like a kind of community, but I'm not really sure what we can do about this. Scores, this is okay. This section needs to be improved to make it more random, versatile, and so on. And this one, they change this constantly, so I can see that they are working on it pretty hard. Sometimes with success or sometimes with not. Yeah, so I think that after a year, my time that I invest in learning in Duolingo could be consumed, could be invested better in other formats. Right now, I spend every day at least like a half an hour, maybe even sometimes more, trying to learn something new in Spanish. And I can see it is not as efficient as it used to be. And about this time, I want to learn as much as I can, not to spend as much time as I have. So that's why I'm going to quit Duolingo. And unfortunately, I didn't find any better application to learn languages. I found many worse applications that I recorded video, I guess, a few months ago already. So what is my solution? My solution for now is to keep my one-on-one lessons with my Spanish teacher. Also, I'm going to read more articles and books in Spanish. Also, I'm going to watch more series, listen to more podcast interviews in Spanish. I found that writing sentences is also very beneficial. I'm going to go back to books, to more classical ways to learn languages. But overall, I think Duolingo is not bad. It's worth of its time, of our time to spend on it, at least at the very beginning of the learning new language process. So that's it in this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful, and see you in the next one.